Well, let's hear from some of these Apollo proponents who support Apollo, support NASA, and think that we're all completely wrong. Answer those questions. We only ever ask questions. We only ever ask questions. We only ever ask questions. So you have the knowledge, apparently. You have the knowledge to support NASA. So answer our questions. So answer our questions. So answer our questions. So answer our questions. NASA, we're talking to you now. If you can demonstrate that you took these photographs on the lunar surface, please tell us how you did it and what equipment you used. And if you don't tell us how you did it, we have to assume what we say is correct, that you faked it. Prove you didn't.
Quickly, rather than hogging this, I'd just like to say, Marcus, you said something right at the very beginning. You said, I do not doubt that man landed on the moon. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, in fact, you are not advocating that man did not land on the moon?
Correct. Because we can prove you did. Because 5 psi, or even less, which is what we're told the astronaut suits were pressurized at, is the same as the air pressure at the top of Mount Everest.
Exactly. They took off at sea level to that, and within a few minutes, they had already dropped down to 5 psi. You can't just get dropped off on the top of Mount Everest and expect to survive very long. You can't even go up to Lake Titicaca in Peru and sit there and be there for the afternoon. Within a few hours, you're going to be suffering from altitude sickness. And that's only going up 12,000 feet.
Yeah, you have to acclimatize to it. You have to acclimatize the body to that lower pressure.
Right. And here they are going in a few minutes into space. By the time they cross the Kármán line, the spacecraft is going to be down to 5 psi.
Or probably less. The Kármán line, named after Theodore von Kármán, a NASA engineer, named after Theodore von Kármán, a NASA engineer, who decided to identify the location that space starts. And he chose a nice round number, 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. "62 miles. In fact, space starts at 50 miles above the Earth's surface. And you can tell that because if you put an aircraft above 50 miles, it's got no control because there's nothing for the wings and the flaps to work against. In the photographs we see of the Hasselblad lunar camera, with a lens on it. What we see on the front of that is a filter. It's a polarizing filter. They explain why they use it, because of the angle of the sun. Now, the point of a polarizing filter is that you have to be able to have a viewfinder to see, when you turn the polarizing filter, you will see it affecting the light coming into the camera, and it will reduce unwanted reflections, various other things, but you have to be able to see it through your viewfinder. Artemis is not stacking up. You've only launched one Artemis. You're supposed to be launching another one. It's going to take you 2 years between the previous one and the new one. Artemis 2 is in December next year. Why is it taking 2 years to get a silly rocket off the ground? So answer our questions. Let's realize the dangers they're going to be placed in. Going out into deep space, beyond the Earth's magnetic field protection. When they realize what that might do to them as human beings, they might need a little bit more protection, a little bit more training. And where is the anti-radiation protection in the spacesuits? They all look very pretty. They're all designed by film set designers, so they look the part. But do they do the part? Do they protect the astronauts from the vacuum, from the heat, from the radiation? It's all they've got to work on. They've known about it for years.
Well, I think the biggest problem they have with the suits is trying to keep them cool on a set.